YouTube, I woke up to some really good news. New Master Duel ban list. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. I want to see what's hit. There's a couple things I'm hoping for. Tier elements, sprite, maybe some other weird stuff. Cyberstein? Let's find out together. So we're using a website called Master Duel Meta. Link will be down in the description down below. It's a very good resource where you can see all the cards. And let's start off with semi-limited. Oops, saw a little bit too much there. Okay, first card is Sprite Blue from 3 to 2. Well, I mean, it's not at 1, which I was expecting. It's at 2, so Sprite still seems very capable. I mean, having 2 copies of this card is still pretty powerful. I mean, it does slow down the deck a little bit. Maybe they don't think that Sprite's going to be a big contender in the coming up meta. So I'm interested by that. Okay, a little bit of slowing down Sprite. Girsu. Okay, well, this is a very powerful Orcus card. It gets your combos going really good. And I mean, now you have 2 copies. There's definitely going to be a couple more Orcus players out there. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't know how impactful that's going to be for the meta. I think that's just more of like a good deck in the past is going to be a little bit more better now in the current meta. All right, Nadir Servant. Let me see if I can scroll down slower. So the thing with Nadir Servant is that it sends a card from your extra deck to the graveyard. That's an extremely powerful effect because you have card effects like Herald and other ones where they're sent to the graveyard, you get a card or you get an effect. I'm pretty excited about this one, I'm not gonna lie. This is a very powerful card. I loved it when it was at 3. I think 2 is a pretty good number. It's still very, very powerful. What else do we got? We got Metaverse from 1 to 2. So pretty much the trap version of Terraforming. When it was limited to 1, I assumed it was because Terraforming is so good and this is essentially Terraforming. But I think the real reason this card was so powerful was because of a card called Mystic Mine, which essentially made it so your opponent can't really use monsters or their effects, and it kind of like stops them from playing the game entirely. I don't think Master Duel has Mystic Mine, or if it does, it's banned. So yeah, I don't really think this card's a big threat. Now, mind you, field spells are still extremely powerful in Yu-Gi-Oh! They are. The field spells have always been really powerful, and this is still a good card. So, I mean, it's okay. I think this is a good card. I don't know if people even played it at 1. But if they did, it was probably in like a Bizarre Strategies. Next up, we got Cyber Angel Ben 10, 1 to 2. Oh no. One of the decks I really don't like, it's a Herald deck. Essentially, it's a deck where if you activate a card, they can discard a card in their hand, negate it, and destroy it. Ben 10 is one of the best cards in the Drytron deck, which runs Herald of Perfect Light or Perfection or whatever. I like the card at 1. I think it was really good at 1 because that deck is I wouldn't say it's top tier contender in the meta, but it is very, very powerful against Rogue. And this card was one of the most important ones because you would get this search off, and when this card is tributed, you can add a light fairy. The light fairies in the game are very good. Even some of them that are already banned in the TCG aren't banned in Master Duel. So yeah, having 2 copies of this, I don't know if I really like that. That's a little scary. All right, we're going to the limited. Okay, Keldo. I expected this. Keldo at 1. I'm glad to see it. I'm hoping that there's just more than just this one Ishizu card. Let's see. Okay, Mordora from 3 to 1. That's good. That's good. At least I think that's good. Personally, maybe you really love this card in your Earth strategy, and your Naturias or whatever. I'm glad to see it gone. I think this card was toxic. I think all of these cards, all 4 of them, are going to be toxic. I'm hoping to see all 4 of them on the list. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling down. Oh, thank God. Yes. Yes. From 2 to 1. We got Agito. That's really good. Okay, well, where's the last one? The next up is newly forbidden. So did they just ban the 4th one? Straight up? No way. Cyberstrike. What did I say? This card is toxic. This card is not very fair because you could essentially just bring out like an Omni Negate Fusion. And yeah, it's like, oh, you're paying 5,000 life points. But when you set up a board and you have an Omni Negate that can negate anything, your life points don't really matter. You can just negate every single card your opponent has. Except Super Power, because that card can't be negated. This is a good hit, especially since a card, I think it's called Sprite Elf, or it's a Link 2, and you get special summon a level 2 from your graveyard. You could easily get this guy back, especially in tier elements. What else is forbidden? Is Sprite Elf forbidden? I'm hoping not. I like Sprite Elf. I think it's cool in the game. Please don't forbidden it. Let's see. So, oh, well, that's a random hit. This card has been running around for a very long time. Smoke Grenade of the Thief. This essentially is good because there is, I think it's a Fire Warrior deck, where essentially it's like you can equip spells to it or equip stuff to it. And when this card is destroyed by a card effect while equipped, you can look at your opponent's hand, discard one card. There is a loop where you can just discard every single card in your opponent's hand. The creators of Yu-Gi-Oh! Have never really liked combos where you just make it so your opponent can't play, and they pretty much banned a lot of the cards that say, hey, you just rip a card out of your opponent's hand and you can like do like weird loops with it. This was one of the cards. This is an extremely old card. In fact, I think it was like from one of the first Yu-Gi-Oh sets ever released. I think it was like the third one or the fourth one. Yeah, I mean, it's from 3 to 1, just like that. Surprised me, but it is a toxic card. I'm glad it's out of the game. Personally, I think I've only seen it played once in like my whole year playing Master Duel. So it was never really impactful, but it was always there looming in the darkness, you know, just waiting to strike. What? They banned terraforming. Well, now the meta one makes more sense. Where is it? Metaverse at 2. So they said, KONOMI said, terraforming, nah, that card's too good. Everybody has it at 1. We're banning it. Banning it. No more terraforming. So in compensation, we'll give you a metaverse. Okay, well, TCG, OCG have it at 3. Yeah, that's bizarre. That is bizarre. I don't know really what to say about that. I thought it was fine now. I mean, it's super powerful. Like I said, field spells are really important in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, but I mean, it's banned. It's terrible. I never thought I'd see this. It's banned. Is that it? Fully changed. Okay, this is everything. So they didn't hit the other Shizu card. It's still at 2. Okay, but everything else is at 1. That's surprising. I thought they would hit all 4 of them. I mean, I'm glad they at least hit them at all. I wouldn't have been surprised if KONAMI didn't even hit these guys at all. They just said, nah, they're good. Just leave them for another ban list. No, they hit them. I expected this. I don't think Tier Elements was hit at all. They didn't hit Tier Elements, did they? Well, they banned Steiberstein, but Tier Elements doesn't necessarily need to play that. Also, Terraforming, Tier Elements doesn't necessarily need to play that as well. And I guess just this is the only thing that hurt Tier Elements. So, essentially, Sprite got a little bit of a slap on the wrist. Orcust might be back. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Orcust is a cool deck. Nadir Servant, I think this is the most important card to like get moved on the list, because essentially at 1 people might have ran it, but it wasn't that good of a strategy. But at 2, you have like double the chances to see it because you have 2 copies. And also you can use it in ritual decks because you can just send Herald from your extra deck. You can also use it in strategies where you need a card in your extra deck in the graveyard. Maybe Black Wings? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it would work perfectly well in that strategy, but I think this is the very important one. Metaverse at 2, it's okay. I mean, it's just because Terraforming got banned, which is bizarre to me, but these things happen. And I don't like this one. I don't like Ben 10. I really do not like Drytron. I think it's a boring deck to play against. It's a very good deck. If you play Drytron, I mean, good for you. It's a good deck. You can negate a bunch of stuff. It has cool combos, but I don't like playing against them because I have to sit down for like 4 minutes, and I'm not very patient. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, let me know what you think in the ban list. Let me know what cards you wanted to see banned, and as always, hope you have a great day or night, and maybe I'll catch you next time. See ya.